storytelling manner is a really tough feat when you're talking about your internal teams. Our next speaker is going to share with you a story that's definitely going to make you sit back and take attention and think to yourself, I could really do this for my internal team. So what do you do when you are a very successful company and incredibly profitable? And you just made some of your longtime employees millionaires, and you want to keep them growing. Well, that next level escapes so many other companies. Sometimes when they start succeeding is also when they might start dying. But not according to Brad Parler, the digital communications administrator at Blinds.com. What might you put to use from Brad's presentation for your company and clients? Who else do you know who listens into the inner circle of geek heroes? Please welcome Brad Parler.
Can you guys hear me okay? Yeah. Cool. I feel like this side of the room needs a little love. And you guys, so cool. This side, that's okay. You guys feel loved enough? Awesome. All right. The things that we say to ourselves over and over again shape the way in which we think and change the way in which we believe we fit in the world around us. This self-talk manifests itself in our habits. Now, what if businesses took a hold of the power of this and changed the way in which they talk to their employees and allowed their employees to engage with them? Today, we're going to look at 3 different internal communication projects that I created at Blinds.com. We're going to look at their crucial role in our hyper-engaged workforce. And finally, I hope by the end of this, you walk away inspired to create things that engage and motivate differently. But before we dive in, I want to tell you a story of 2 messages. The first message, handwritten on ornate stationery, simply says, I want to talk to you soon. The second, a text message, written in such a rush that the sender didn't bother to write out all the words. Now, I can guarantee you that if a business that I do not know sent me that text message, we would never talk. But if my wife sent me that message, I know one of 2 things is happening. She's in trouble and she needs me, or I'm in trouble. It's not just what you say. It's about engagement. The content of those 2 messages is almost identical, but the context is completely different. And because of that, those 2 messages do not have the same impact, do they? I believe that we're in the midst of a digital content revolution. This revolution has been going on for quite some time. The tools, the technology, and the training have all lined up to allow us as individual artists to make amazing stuff. I want you to think back with me decades ago. We had teams of individualized artists all crafting different kind of messages in what I call the Madman era. Now, these teams of individuals may have been specialized in one individual thing, and they would work together like an assembly line. Thanks to desktop publishing and personal computing, we now have desktop PowerPoint. And it's not just a lack of skill, no. It has a lot to do with a lack of skill, don't get me wrong. But I believe that we've lost some of the power in understanding why people engage. Now, sites like YouTube are a really great example. YouTube, the history of YouTube may be written that it's a site full of this. Cat videos. And while I love Keyboard Cat, I really do. 41 million views to date. Okay, come on. User-created content. What most people will call Web 2.0, but don't just think of it as the web. The maker movement, the ability to make stuff, constructibles. The remix culture. All of these things are telling us that the message doesn't have to be perfect. You may be able to get away with PowerPoint slides that look like that previously. It's beyond just moving to having perfect messages. It's about engagement. It's not just what you say. It's about engagement and understanding that context. And that's a driving theme through the 3 projects that we're going to look at today from Blinds.com. The first one is The Voice. Not that super awesome TV show. No. The Voice is a project within Blinds.com as we were expanding our square footage and we were building a separate floor to house all of our operations team. I was given the opportunity to build a brand new video wall. How many video geeks do we have here? Where are my people? 1? We got 1, 2? Awesome. The ability, the time that you get a chance to, as a video geek, to build a video wall is freaking amazing. The challenge that I was given was to display the voice of the customer in a new and unbelievably engaging way. And what I came up with were 4 75-inch displays that look like this. This is a nearly 13-foot wide, 6-foot tall monolith of customer feedback. Oh. there's no people. Now, thanks to a partnership with Zoom, you may have heard about Zoom throughout the day with one of the prizes that we're giving away. We are bringing in near real-time, the voice of the customer through social media. Now, social media is one of those double-edged swords. And what gets brought into our building, the good and the bad. Now, if we were just looking at the good things that our customers are all telling us, we'd never grow. And at our core, Blinds.com is a continuous improvement culture. And there are 2 things that absolutely astounded me about this project. I would walk by and I would observe people looking at this video wall. And I would engage them and say, well, what do you see? And a salesperson told me that, well, if I'm looking at this one specific case, if that customer just knew that we did this, we wouldn't be having this issue. And so I asked her, what do you want to do now? Well, I'm going to change the way I explain that one feature, that one thing that we do. When I've seen customer service team members looking at something that went horribly wrong. They ran back to their desk, found that customer's order, observed what went wrong and what we've already done to make it right. Now, it's not just that the customers were, in some cases, yelling at us about what things went wrong. It wasn't just about that we were hearing and doing something, because we were already doing that. Blinds.com, we've won amazing awards because of our world-class performance in customer service. This project, though, created an internal engagement, observing what data was there that we're already taking care of, and then changing behaviors because of it. The second project that I want to introduce you to is the word cloud. Now, every one of our meeting rooms and huddle spaces have a really cool name. Now, the name of these rooms are a part of the origin story of Blinds.com or a historical event within the company. Now, these room names aren't just cute for the sake of being cute. They remind us of where we've come as a company. And one of the rooms that we're going to talk about is called the cloud. It's significant because it was one of the first times that we trusted our data in the cloud. And it was a big thing for us. And the challenge for me in this project was to create a simple means of engagement that anyone in our company could leverage. And so inside of this huddle space, or inside of this meeting room, there's a display. Looks like that. Every one of those words are something that someone within the business said. Now, this project did not launch with any training on how to use this project. It just simply showed up on our intranet as a form that looks like that. And we learned really, really early on not to ask, what are you feeling, or what are you thinking, or what are you doing? Simply ask, what is your word for the day? We learned that in the process of doing that, we took the engagement away from them thinking about what themselves are doing, what they're doing, to the engagement of the broader picture. One of our other core values at Blinds.com is to speak up and to be ourselves. The power within this project is when you put that word in, you know that in a meeting room and on the internet that you can launch into a bigger web page, you're being heard. And if that word is bigger, other people are feeling the same way. The direction that a business allows communication to flow says a lot about that business. Am I right? Now, the third and final project that I want to show you today are our leaderboards. And I need to give you guys a bit of disclosure because inside of the Customer Engagement Center, what many businesses would just call their call center, but we believe that the term call center has such a negative feel that we want to, that's not what they're there for. They're not there to answer calls. They're there to engage with our customers. Everyone within the Customer Engagement Center are on some form of performance-based compensation. It's kind of unique from what I've been told within the call center environment. Every day, an Excel spreadsheet goes out that lets you know, if you're on that team, what your performance is among all of your peers. What that means is your ranking within the company is known by everyone, including your bonus. Very transparent. Now, when most people say leaderboards, the initial thought, and I'm just going to kill this sacred cow, the initial thought is gamification. I hate that word. Okay? Just because you put a badge on it doesn't make it a game. All right? It's not just what you say. It's about engagement. That Excel spreadsheet is functional. It is not fun. And we like to have fun. And so, Chris Blair, the director of sales at Blinds.com, he gave me a challenge. What if our leaderboards could look like ESPN? This is what we did. This is a sample of the sales leaderboard. What you're seeing is a mashup of business intelligence and full motion freaking HD. It's awesome to have your names in lights. You know, it's awesome to show up and say, yeah, those are real numbers. That's how much revenue someone's done. What's even more amazing is freaking dancing your butt off on screen. It's not just what you say. It's not just what you say. It's how you engage. When I first launched this project at Blinds.com, it created such an amount of work. When some of our new folks who had not been at the company, they didn't see where we came from, we were pushing PowerPoint as hard as we could on our digital signage. God bless them. What we're doing now, so when the report would come out, a bunch of people would run up to me and say, Brad, you've got to update this. And whenever we first launched this project, I knew that we would have to get to automation. And at Blinds.com, I've been able to pioneer technologies to make this automated. The COO of a major digital signage company has had a preview of what we've been working on, and he's called it the holy grail of digital signage. So I think I'm onto something. Now, within this space, most companies will ask me, what's the ROI of making sexy graphics? And I'm going to tell you, because while I'm in the internal communication space, the ROI isn't return on investment. It's risk of inactivity. When you launch something like this and it goes stale, the impact is so completely diminished, even after it comes back fresh. The risk of inactivity. It's not just what you say. It's about engagement. And as one of my heroes, I was so stoked when Kelsey said, sign the Senate. I freaking love that guy. There are two ways to influence human behavior. You can manipulate it, or you can inspire it. I believe that we've been here today, throughout this day, to learn how to inspire great behavior. Things like these projects that you've seen today from Blinds.com, it's my goal, I hope, at some level, you're thinking about things differently than you have before. Now, the reason in which I'm able to do things like this at Blinds.com is because we think of things differently. Traditionally, corporate communication has all been about vision from the top, gets pushed down through managers as a mouthpiece, just pushing ideas, pushing ideas. Communication from the top gets pushed down through different levels, down to our employees. At Blinds.com and our parent company who's acquired us, the Home Depot, we look at our organization structure much differently. This is what the Home Depot calls their inverted pyramid, where our CEO is at the bottom, and communication gets inspired to the top. And inspired communication, through core values like speak up and be yourself, can move in any direction. Think differently. Inspire. It's one of those things that I want you to look at things and look at media in a new and exciting way. The media that comes out of this digital content revolution cannot be a megaphone where a leader at the top is yelling down from the top of the mountain down. I believe that the media that comes out of this digital content revolution will inspire engagement, not forced participation. Thank you.